And a good morning to you, rugby fans. Welcome to Austin, Texas. We're just outside of Austin in Round Rock at the 2024 Club National Championships. USA Club Rugby bringing you all of this action. I am John Broker. I am joined by Darian Lovelace, the great one for this matchup. It is a D3 semifinal between Charles River of Boston and Colusa County Rugby of California. Winner of this will play the winner of the game that's going on right now, where the Austin Blacks lead 20-7 over the Red River Ruffians. You look at the Charles River, the Rats right there, getting ready for this big matchup. Darian, some fun rugby coming today.
For sure, fun, and most grateful to be here. These teams have both worked tirelessly to be here while also just playing men's club rugby, which everybody has been touched in some way, shape, or form here in America with the club rugby scene. These athletes have worked tirelessly all week while working full-time jobs. They've got families, but the passion for rugby is just immense, so they come out here and they play. So everything to play for this weekend, everything to lose as well. This is championship weekend, so both teams are going to have to compete really heavily, but this will be a good matchup between the two sides.
We are just about ready to go. As you see, Juan Loza, they call him Dean, from Colusa County, in the black and green to kick off to the Charles River Rats. You saw them in their green and orange. Referee for this one is going to be Enrique Alvarez. He is joined by Jared Ford and Alexis DeFries as the assistant referees. Mr. Alvarez, hailing from Minnesota Referee Society, just about ready to get underway here. This is USA Club Rugby's penultimate weekend. This is the start of the D3 semifinal between Charles River and Colusa. Colusa kicks off, ball knocked forward in the attempt to regather it. Good aggression there from Colusa County, but it's going to be an early scrum here to Charles River just outside of their 22.
And we can already see the defensive line coming in from Colusa off of the kick chase. They play a very good aggressive defense showing out early, but Charles River will have the first possession. First 20 minutes, every team is trying to feel each other out and trying to kind of get tabs on each other. So we'll have a lot of rugby to be played this weekend.
Ball to come in here from Charles River. That's Josh Beck, the vice captain, to put this one in. Beck, ball to number 8 of Patrick Mead's feet. They go wide early. They've got some runners here. Let's see what they can do. Is the speed on? Looking for the corner there is number 11, Mike Del Priori. Priori tackled, but good work early by Charles River. Into their structure. A lot of their comments talk about they've really worked hard to stick into their structure, and it's been a good thing for them. Beck comes around the corner, can't find a runner, has to take it himself. Distributed out there by inside center Aaron Smith. Ball into contact outside the 40. On the move here early are Charles River. Little show and go there from one of the big fellas. Gets right across the 40 a little further. No huge momentum coming right now, but a penalty. Offsides against RJ Phillips. I think he thought he had his timing right there, but didn't quite. The first penalty to Charles River.
And we're seeing that launch that we talked about from Colusa off of the kick chase, and now we're seeing it off of set piece and open play. But the thing is that right now they are overfolding. If Charles River can look up and stop just utilizing the forwards, the backs do have a lot of space with this interior launch that Colusa is presenting. So like we said, teams are going to be feeling each other out, but the key here, and especially throughout the weekend, is going to be each team's adaptability.
First line out to come here to Charles River. A nice distance they made there. We saw Del Priori there. Saw him run a bit earlier. He's originally from Ringo's, New Jersey. Went to Norwich University, the de facto Marine Academy in the USA, up in Norwich, Vermont. Beautiful part of the world. River Rats down with it. Back in the middle of the field. Lang. Big hit, but ball goes backwards. The referee is fine with that. Here's where number 16 comes over with that. Bryce Jenner, another one of the big boys. Looking to go wide here. Looking to get an offload. Slips out of the hand. Unfortunate there for Bowser. Early nerves. These teams there are just trying to press it a little too much. But it looks like we have another penalty here against Colusa County.
Yeah, and you just mentioned it, pressing too much. They are coming off of the line very fast. That's probably part of their tactic because Charles River does have the ability to move it wide. They're getting around the corner. But the thing is that Colusa is really going to have to keep their discipline in check, especially as now we're seeing Charles River go ahead and go to boot for the penalty kick just to get some early points on the board. Getting a 3-0 lead 3 minutes into this match is a kind of a power move. And so Colusa, if this kick is made, they really are going to have to rein in their defense. It's about a 35-meter kick, just a little bit to the left, so it's within point getting territory.
Yes, smart early move here at 3.5 minutes gone to try to launch this one between the sticks, get up 3 points just to get that first score out of the way. Is a bit of a distance. Beautiful day here in Round Rock, Texas. Suburbs of Austin, the capital. That one has the distance. That one does not have the accuracy. It'd be a 22 drop coming for Colusa County. First early attempt there by Charles River.
And just unfortunate, but we're talking about building confidence and building the platform here. Kickers are allowed to risk it, and it is a heavy ask to try and get it through the sticks. But already we're seeing that Charles River can play very smart attack, and they know what to do whenever they're in different zones. Their zone management seems to really be showing. But discipline from Colusa is going to be very important.
Close to the number 9, puts up again. He's a PE teacher playing for Colusa County here. Hopefully some of his students are watching. All up to one of the big rumbling forwards here for Charles River. Little offload there, gets a couple more meters, forces that Colusa County defense to wrap around there. Out they come, it's in the hands of Lang. Lang goes a little wide, the outside, not open there. Janner was there, but had to be cleaned up by Smith. Early possession, really going the way of this Charles River team. Want to convert that to points, be a big mental win for Colusa County if they can keep them off the board. Coming across Lang, gets it out the back. Dummy runner coming in, a little show and go there. That's Coney. Pardon me. Ball to the ground, getting it. Their structure back together. Ball across, looking for another big runner. Good structure here, very patient. As Cormac Hughes goes to the ground. Attorney, originally from Sligo, Ireland, now playing for Charles River in Boston. Players from Colusa County trying to get up over that one and not releasing, so ball's going to come to the Charles River Rats. Donald Dealey really thought he had rights to that ball.
And we heard referee shout what he wanted. So when you're in the thick of the ruck, if you're going to go ahead and compete, you have to be able to listen to the ref because they're usually telling you exactly what they want. They don't want to delay the play for either side. So right there, Dial just seems to be a little bit strong in that ruck, a little bit too much sauce there. But what's really saucy is this hit from number 1. Looks like that was Rogers who came in and made these big hits. But then taking it to the line is also the front row. So right here, we've got a really cool matchup between the front rows, between Murray on number 17 for Charles River and Rogers on Colusa. So props, you're going to want to watch them at scrum time. But right here, again, we're talking about the discipline from Colusa. Played a lot of rugby down in this end.
Elliot Cohen, the graphic designer from Cape Elizabeth, Maine, went to Union College. Gets that ball in, little messy, but they're going to be able to hang on to it. Beck has to take it into contact again. Pick and go there from Stefanski. Middle of the field they go. They're looking for that width, but just trying to push it there a little too quickly. Coney has a hold of it again. Coney, Liberty, South Carolina, moved up to Beantown. Another big run coming in there from Bryce Janner. Across they go. Ball now into the hands. Tom Murray. Little pop there. Good continuity. Players trusting each other well for this Charles River team. Ball comes out. Waiting pot of forwards. Little tip pass could have been on there, but decides to just roll with it, does Murray. Beck. And all possession right now to the Rats. And there's a little break. Ball slips forward in the tackle. So knock-on advantage here for Colusa County. Colusa County players. Is that going to turn into a penalty? Player came down a little bit. Still have the scrum advantage. We'll see what they decide to do with this one. Charles River, we'll see what their defense is all about in just a second. And most of this game on offense, and wide they go. Nice outside pass from the big fella. Blake Rogers puts that one in. Blake Rogers gets it back. I certainly want him to have to tackle him, but a couple of Charles River Rats are certainly going to do the case. Comes back across. There's There's been advantage played, so ball is in the hands of Patrick Mead. Patrick Mead from Charles River makes some distance there. Player comes in and kicks it away. Referee whistles. That may be the second one from this player. I think we may see a card. Referee's going to have a chat. Let's listen in.
Look, this is a hard penalty. You are the captain and you do that. If you start continuing doing that, I have my options. Say that you control your team and yourself, or I will control. Is understood?
Little talking there to Jake Wiley. Jake Wiley, the captain. Agriculture Territorial Sales Manager out of Durham, California. Played at Chico State. Penalty's been worn there, Darian. I would think the next one would be a card.
Oh, for sure. There's no doubt. And the referee is doing a really good job of communicating, again, the standards that he set prior to the game. And one thing is that he's vocalized it to Colusa on multiple occasions. And that conversation had to happen because the fly half and the captain were both being addressed there just because of the fact that they were getting extremely testy there with his standards. If they have one more violation down in this end, especially being right outside of the try zone, they're going to get carded.
Little error there from Charles River. Great opportunity. That one just sailed right over the back of the lineout. Colusa County, however, decides Pellegrino Conti is the player they want to pass to. The flanker for Charles River turns it over. On the attack still. Spent this entire first 9 minutes down in the Colusa County zone. Colusa having to play a lot of early defense against Charles River. A lot less energy sapping on offense than defense. Little pop-up there from Murray to Mead. Mead into contact. Back. A little slow here. Ball up to Mark Cassidy. Cassidy, hard hit by Colusa County. These boys are not afraid of laying the lumber. Charles River on their feet. That's Bryce Janner. Ball out from Beck. To go wide. Another nearly bone-rattling hit there. Jeremiah Keneally wanted the ball, but probably not quite in that situation. Another hard hit from Colusa County, fighting at the ruck. Is there width for them right now? Stefanski. In and over. Is that ball available? Players trying to dig it out. Back for a runner. Down goes Cassidy again. Called nearly every name on the list so far for Charles River. A lot of passes, a lot of interplay between this team. Looks really good. Trying to isolate some players. Trying to get the winger out there. Like Del Priori. Del Priori is held up. Big Blake Rogers just controlling that wing for Colusa County. Doing a good job shutting things down. Ball comes across, but another penalty against Colusa. Player came in from the side there illegally. Referee not having it. Alvarez, a lot of penalties here going the way of Charles Rivers.
Looks like there's going to be a substitution. After that run off of the turnover of the line of McPherson, the number 13 from Colusa looks like he was kind of limping around there, just not able to work as hard. Again, another conversation. It keeps on happening from Alvarez over and over about the discipline that Colusa's got to have. They are doing a good job of getting up in the defensive line and laying these big hits. They really are making it a point to try and keep Charles River on the back foot, but the discipline just needs to kind of rise a little bit.
Hey, come on.
So it was after the counter, sir?
It was in the
Another
counter.
conversation there. Dealey,
Do we have the sub?
a little bit of a bad side of the referee.
And we're good?
Dealey came out of retirement, had played with a couple of these guys on Sacramento teams. Colusa County just north of Sacramento there. Wanted to come out and, give it one more roll, and here he is in a national semifinal game as Charles River, however, get under the line opportunity right around the 22s. Take a look at Dealey.
I would argue that Colusa, I think, all got together and went to the barber shop. We have a lot of individual hairstyles coming out here, but from experience, there are a lot of people that like to go get their hair done before the game to look their best, so Colusa's really showing it here.
I was trying to pick my next haircut, Darian, so you tell me which one I should go for. Little ball goes over the top there, winds up in the hands of Charles River, driven towards touch, able to keep it in. That's Bowser. Bowser has to get that one up. Away by Colusa County. Colusa County. There they are on offense at their own 40-meter line. Best position so far. Cody Beckley, the captain, has a hold of it. Ball out. They've got some runners out wide here. Do they have the speed? Not sure the big man Blake Rogers has the distance in him, but right there is the runner, Kyle Thacker. Thacker takes that one in. All available. Loza gets that one out. Wiley pops out there. Looked like it came off a Charles River hand. The referee says it's going back off Colusa County. We'll see where it comes up. There it is, still messy. Colusa County. Big number 3, Christian Silva. Loza. Ball spills forward. Opportunity here. Bryce Janner pounces on it. Good ball here for Charles River. Runners out wide, just had a little space there, but they're going to come in and over. Christian Silva on that one. Loza trying to dive on it. Not happening. Referee's going to come back here. We'll see what the call was. Scrum here for Charles River. Not a lot of scrum so far in this game. We'll see how this goes. They're two very sizable sets of forwards, Darian.
Oh, for sure. Between Murray and Rogers, we talked about that contest as well. Both of them are working really hard. So if you're a prop, you're really going to want to watch this at scrum time because both are just very, very powerful.
Thank you, Darian. We are back with this scrum. Ball at the back. Going away there from Beck. Looking for a little misdirection move, but Loza not buying it. Very effective, the Colusa County scrum half. Now they're trying to reset here. They get it to Cassidy. Ball out. Looking wider this time. Is the opportunity there? It's just not going to hand sometimes. Right idea, but it's going to be a scrum here for Colusa County.
Both teams aren't really doing well at the point of contact whenever they're taking it in. Right here, the reason why this happens is because the ball gets caught on the wrong side of the attacker, and he just loses control there. The defense did a good job of coming across, stifling the ball, and just not giving him an option for an offload. But ball security starts at the point of contact. You've got to tuck and protect if you know you're going to take contact. We talked about the launch though that's coming in from Colusa, so who knows, he might have not even seen him coming.
Nearly 15 minutes go on in this first half. Scoreless. Winner takes on the winner. The current game in the other field, the Red River Ruffians versus hometown, the Austin Blacks. Around they come. Wiley gets it in the midfield. One of the great haircuts, Dylan Sanchez into contact, spills forward. Dylan Sanchez had it on the ground there. Player seeing his ankle rolled over there. Around. Be a knock-on, be a scrum here. Austin has won it on the other field, so winner of this game will play the hometown Austin Black side. They have just been informed they're late in the game at 34-7. It's looking good for Austin, I would say, Darian.
Yeah, especially the home side being able to play in Round Rock here. It looks like you're right, John. Just a little bit of a rolled ankle, unfortunately, here early on. But Austin Blacks, they won it last year. They're the defending champions, so 34-7 with them leading. They're no stranger there, but these two teams both are vying for that second position in the final for the D2 club championship, or the D3 club championship, excuse me. Unfortunate to just see the frustration. You can see what it means to these players when they get taken off due to injury, so hopefully he heals up well and he'll be ready for Sunday.
Lang, the key players of this team. Actually, look at the number for it just to make sure of that. Charles River has the ball, however. Charles River scrum. Just over 15 minutes gone. Ball's at Mead's feet. Beck moves it out. Couple of dummy runners, ball just up in the air with a big launch there down the side of the field. Neely going in. Ball needs a distributor here, but a penalty again against Colusa County. Looked like a player just coming in off his feet illegally there, not supporting his weight. Another opportunity for Charles River.
Yeah, tried to pull off one and then just kind of slid in the DMs there between the two, but we can see here he goes for the ball. Already that's a penalty here, and then it just continues to kind of slide underneath and play the ball on the ground. It's delay of play. We're entering into scoring zone for Charles River, so an infraction could cost them a player, and with them playing a lot of rugby down here, just not able to happen. Right here we see the slide over the top, just not allowed loses his weight, loses control for just a second there. And Alvarez, he's been very communicative, very honest about what's going on in the breakdown. All of his calls seem very fair, but the 9th penalty coming in for Colusa, it's going to be about time for Alvarez to go to the pocket.
Yeah, 9-0 on that. Not hitting on their lineouts there, but this may work out in favor of Charles River. Does not, however, ball knocked on in there, so it's going to be a scrum for Colusa County deep in their own zone.
Charles River, they're just not able to field that ball, but even though it did do a favor for Colusa for getting them possession, they've got about 80 to 90 meters where they've got to get back down in this end. We're 15 minutes gone here in this first half of the D3 Club Championship, but we haven't played a lot of rugby down in Charles River end, so Colusa are really going to be pushing hard for that.
Ball to Colusa County. Number 8, Becky, the captain, moves it back. Block kick there from Charles River. Rolling toward the touchline. Who is there? Who is in? Referee is going to hold on and his assistant referee. We'll see what the conversation brings.
The captains is kicked by black player on the last play. It's going to be a scrum for green on the 5. Yep.
5-meter scrum.
5-meter scrum for Charles Rivers. Kicked out of touch there. Looked by Loza. It was pretty much a try-saving kick. Not much else he could do.
Lock it out,
so
boys. Lock
Charles
it out.
River, however,
Drive.
wonderful opportunity here. We'll see if Patrick Mead decides to break
Drive,
off the
boys.
back.
Drive.
And we talked about zone management. Charles River making a lot of good decisions, but Colusa there just put themselves under a lot of pressure back there in the zone, and it forces them to have to give up a turnover to Charles River.
Beck gives a less than friendly slap to his team on the way around. Looks like they're going to not go to Mead. Mead is going to take it off the back here. Here goes Mead. Played for Morris Rugby in high school. Now an event manager for Converse Boston. Your announcers always like free Converse. Ball to 22. It doesn't quite happen. Charles River still in the attack, however. The number 12s meeting each other. Sanchez making that tackle for Colusa County. Ball coming out. Charles River still on the move here. This has now been 15 minutes, primarily in the Colusa County 22, that they have held this Charles River team scoreless. A dogfight, to say the least. Beck looking in both directions. Beck has Cassidy. Cassidy tries to step through. Conti coming in, sorting that ball out. They have room off to this side. Little wraparound from Smith. Can't get the ball back. Does now. Sorry, not Smith. That was Doherty. Devin Doherty. Ball into contact. Coming across. Charles River. Ball back to Cassidy. Featuring in this series of players is one of the large carriers. Going now. Trying to keep a little tight here. Little tip pass. They've got a runner outside. That's the hooker, Cohen. Cohen tries to put it over the top and does. But Bowser just slips right there. Bowser held up by some Colusa County players. They should get the ball back, Charles River, despite the attention of a couple of defenders trying to take that one down. Playing a little pop-up game here. Get the ball to Cormac Hughes. Cormac Hughes moves it on. Charles River finding these little gaps here. They're not afraid to throw those tip passes. It's very effective for them. Probably should have shown one right there instead of taking a massive thump. The referee spots something. He's going to talk to Colusa County.
Look, you did better, but this is a lifting, and then going to ground. Please don't lift your players. And I tell you that my patience is very clear. So do me prayer, please. Come here, please.
Oh my
Guys, you're on your team.
goodness.
Pressure, and
Goodness
you're fine.
gracious. They have the room to burn there on the outside for Charles River. They have the numbers because there's a slow fold coming in from Colusa. Stop running into the interior defense because that's just going to get a clap. But it's just kind of a little bit of a gray line there. And honestly, it looks like it's pretty fair play coming in from the number 12 there, Sanchez. But unfortunately, we talked about the 10 penalties now that they've racked up. Looks like Alvarez is just very hypersensitive, but textbook cutthroat tackle there coming in on the fly half. But just unfortunate for him to have to go take a seat. 14 now on this side for Colusa, as Charles River now are down in this end and they've got 15 players down there.
Yeah, Sanchez from Davis High School He is, certainly moved back and forth between football and rugby in his career out in Sacramento, according to his notes. Put in a hit there, and I got to agree, a little bit of a tough call on them. Another penalty. Eventually, there had to be, whatever the penalty was, a yellow card. They have gotten on the bad side of the referee, as you would say, as that ball comes out from Charles River. Again, a missed pass winds up in the hands of Tony. Tony wrestling his way through. He's the room outside now. Just touched late there is Beck. Going to move that ball a little quicker. Get it to the fullback, Neely. Beck looking for a runner, looking to go in his own. Gets the ball up there, into the hands of Del Priore. Del Priore goes. Del Priore will be the first try scorer of this semifinal. Great try there by Mike Del Priore. Charles River, after 20 minutes nearly of pressure, have gotten 5 points to the board.
Charles River has just gotten dealt a very messy hand coming in from Colusa that played a very good defensive effort, but these breakdown infractions really led to Alvarez getting frustrated, and with the yellow card in Sanchez, who just dished a massive hit not even a couple minutes ago, it just led to an overload that was going to happen out there on the backs. And then the individual leg drive that came in, the determination from Del Priore there to just get it over the line, good ball security, making that adaptation there. Charles River is playing very good, smart zone management rugby. Colusa's going to have to kind of reel it in and talk about how they're going to combat being down a man, especially as Charles River just seems to play a lot smarter rugby. Colusa, they just are using this brute force, which is key, and they can make it down in this end, but they've just got to play a little bit smarter and more disciplined.
River trying to connect this. Bryce Janner does their kicking. Janner off the post, so they're going to stay at 5 points, just nearly there for Janner. Originally from Kalispell, Montana. A little bit in Africa. Now playing for Charles River. And we're going to step aside. It's going to be a hydration break just at 18.5 minutes on a pretty warm day here in Austin. We'll step aside for just a second, be back with the rest of the second half in a moment.
Credo Rugby is a development platform that helps rugby clubs create and sell their on-field, training, and supporters gear. We work with clubs of all sizes, from grassroots to professional, and help them generate revenue to support their continuous development. Attention all rugby fans. World Rugby Shop is your one-stop shop for all your rugby gear needs. Whether you're a seasoned player or just starting out, World Rugby Shop offers an extensive selection of top quality gear and apparel to elevate your game. From jerseys and shorts to boots and accessories, we've got you covered. Visit us today to see why World Rugby Shop is your ultimate destination for everything rugby. Gear up today.
Rugby's always this macho setting that, it's all about strength. You don't want to show any weakness, but the reality is that people do go through their own battles. Why is it important for us all within the rugby community to really kind of normalise this conversation that surrounds mental health?
We play in a very high stress situation all the time.
There's always a stigma around men that we have to be bravado and strong.
Within every player, there's always something that you don't always, bring forth to the table, you don't always put out.
Sometimes you don't know it's affecting your game.
Learning ways to connect with other guys, be in environments where you can have the right conversations, be yourself, and share has been super helpful and super important to me in my career, and it's allowed me to grow and mature to the point where, I can handle what professional rugby is going to throw at me.
I think rugby's best played when you're happy and you're enjoying it and you're confident. And I think that
Man, you know what they say, if you don't like the weather in Texas, just wait an hour. It is absolutely beating down here in Texas. It is so hot, but it has not stopped any of these players from acting any less physical on the field. Everybody's playing all 80 minutes. We're seeing some hard hits in here, some heavily contested hits that, you know, certain sides don't agree with, but Charles River comes up in the towards the water break here, and I'm looking forward to see who comes out on top in half. Back up to you guys.
Well, how hot is it, Tyler? We're going to go back down to Tyler periodically through the day. Right now, we're going to start after the Charles River try, unconverted, off the post there from Janner, the kicker. So it's going to be Colusa County, one player down to kick this one off. Player for the next 10 minutes, roughly. Cormac Hughes takes that one in. Charles River, little inside pass this time, breaking through the line. Big boys love to have a run here. Tom Murray. Gets it out again. Dummy runner comes in, but doesn't really fool anyone. Ball slips to the ground. Colusa County trying to pounce on it there. Going to come back for a scrum. First really good attacking platform for Colusa County the entire game, Darian. Let's see what they can make of this one.
And one thing that they are finally getting is a chance down in this end. Colusa played a man down after those first 20 minutes. And if we think about penalties and meters gained, they gave up almost 100 meters to Charles River alone, just within those 10-meter penalties that kept on racking up down in that end. So the discipline hasn't really allowed them to play much rugby down here. But even though it is 2 40-minute halves, we think about rugby in 4 20-minute quarters because of the fact that momentum can change throughout the time. Teams have time to regroup, kind of talk about things. It's hot down here in Austin, so the water breaks are going to come into play. 83 degrees is not easy to play in, especially for sides that are from opposite sides of the country.
Nice attacking start here from Colusa County. Charles River trying to rip that one away. Loza has to take it in himself. Wiley going to step into that distributor role. Get passed out by Silva. Middle of the field they go. That's Thomas Stevens. Wiley in the distributor role again. Going up to RJ Phillips. Ball might have slipped there and go back in the other direction. Silva. Well met by a Charles River defender. Loza. Good luck getting that ball outside. Pops it up in the air. Did it go forward? No. Is it going to be scored? Possibly. A little offload here and nearly is running to the line. That looked like a high tackle. Maybe a penalty try. A penalty try comes. We may have a yellow card here. The referee headed right in, and Colusa County with really their first offensive touch of the ball. 7 points on the board. Lead change from the Colusa County men.
That was so fun to watch within Colusa, the number 8, and just did such a big play that led to a penalty try, and there's going to go a yellow card. So 14 on 14, we're not allowed. It looks like we'll get that number for you here in just a second, but it looks like we're going to have a player from Charles River now have a seat after we saw a questionable yellow card come in against Sanchez. So because of that play right there alone, it now shifted the lead in favor of Colusa with the high penalty coming in on the lock. The number 8 though, Beckley, sets it up, gets a fend, gives this beautiful offload there to a waiting wing who's just there on the outside, and then just a perfect inside one-handed offload to that number 5, the big man Pearson. It gets to make it through over top, and he takes a not well-deserved high tackle, but he gets the win. He gets that lead change, and now 7-0. We've got Colusa on top, the California side against Charles River.
Just like that, 20 minutes possession for Charles River. They score 5 points. 30 seconds of possession there for Colusa County. They're up 7-5 with a yellow card to Mike Del Priore from Charles River. So a Janner to get us going again. Charles River, we're at even numbers here. We don't want to answer and stay down the center as the ball hits the ground. Rolling around, comes up to Colusa. Loza. Thomas Stevens. Referee brings it back. Seemed to be a little knock on in there. So it'll be a scrum for this Charles River team.
And just like that, it looks like Colusa is right back down in this end after they just got a penalty try. We now are seeing their creativity really starting to shine through here, and both teams are evenly matched. They're both down and back. We've lost Sanchez, the number 12, and I think the number 15, Keneally, who's also having a seat as well. So both sides are really going to have to get creative when they have so much space out there. We'll see what they can cook up.
Yeah, both on the back here. It's Del Priore that's out actually for this Charles River team. A little bump off there. Good work by Ethan Piccone. Piccone sets a good platform for this team. Big fella, little tip passes there. Player's not always running onto those at the moment here as Beck is going to get that one going again. Gets it out to Lang. I thought Lang had left the game. Another player who did. Beck. Big run coming. Big hits from Colusa County. Trying to keep him in check. Hunter's just coming close to the gain line here for Charles River. Not getting a ton of time on the ball. That ball comes just a little wider. Tries to chip it through. Block, but regather there from Charles River. Lang gets it out there. Now they go to the boot. Ball's going to hang inside the 22. Picked up well there by Tyler Howell. Haven't seen a ton of Howell yet in this game. He's able to regather that ball, get it back safely into the hands of Colusa County. Have to bring in a few extra players. A penalty here against Colusa County. Their own offensive breakdown there, so bit of a mistake. It's going to be another opportunity here for Charles River.
It looks like Alvarez kind of waved his hand, so I wonder if there was a knock on down at the end and then somebody landed on it in front. The ball didn't seem very well secured there by the number 15 Howell when he did take it in, so it might have been what the call is, but game continues to play on here. We see here the recovery there is good. Howell's got a looping around on the left-hand side. Usually when you get down in this end, you want to kind of work closer to a sideline in case you have to exit out of this end. But right there, Howell just loses it for just a second. It looks like the ball kind of gets pushed back, and then somebody's in front of the ball, which is what referee Alvarez calls there. So Colusa, yet again, down in this end, 5 meters out with the Charles River throw-in.
Charles River missed a couple of these lineouts, but hit that one. They're getting their mauled together, working their way towards the line. At the back there is Elliot Cohen. He would love 5 points in a semifinal. Elliot Cohen looking at the line. Elliot Cohen, a couple of people hitting it, but somebody right in front of him there is going to touch it down. That is going to be the big number 16, Cormac Hughes. Decided to leave his hooker hanging, score by himself. Cormac Hughes, great try. 5 more points for Charles River.
Charles River got everybody in the bar there after that. A solid maul that they had, just a good platform, straight backs. That was a team effort done by the forwards there. We saw yellow cards happen for both sides out in the back. So forwards are evenly matched here. Right here we don't see, we see just a late commitment coming in from a couple of players there. And that's what changes the momentum going in favor of Charles River. But just like an arrow, they band together, legs are moving, and we just see Colusa try and recover desperately. But it just wasn't enough to get up against Charles River once they got going. They played very smart rugby, mauling down in this end, just making sure that you get an attacking platform, testing the defense especially. They have a lot of good zone management here, and it's paying off very well for them.
Janner has hit the post, push one just wide. He has a very good boot here, just hasn't been able to connect. On this one, going to push it wide again. And it is going to be 10-7. The yellow card comes back in for Colusa County, so they're at full strength. Dylan Sanchez back in the game.
And one player doesn't make a difference on a 15 side, but it genuinely does whenever both teams are able to score. Sanchez is a very big defender. He's been extremely threatening in that back line, but it had nothing to do with backs. It had everything to do with forwards. If you are getting bullied over like that, you've got to just dig your feet in the dirt and not go high. We saw just a battle of body height there where Charles River came out on top, and down in that end, they just got going and they didn't stop till they were in the try zone.
Loza gets him started again. Nice high hanging kick. Beauty right there. Battle for the ball. Winds up in the hands of that man Cassidy, but knocked it on in the process. Did Mark Kakashaw. Cassidy. That's going to be a scrum for Colusa County. And it took them about 5 seconds after the last try to pull it in themselves, Darian. We'll see if they go for it here.
And Colusa look extremely threatening when they're down in this end. And kick goes up, and it's a well-hanging kick that lands right on the 10. It seems as if it goes between both arms there. It gets knocked off of somebody. Looks like it might have been the number 4 there, which is why the knock-on's going in favor of Charles River. or excuse me, looks like it's Colusa. So game gets played and Colusa finally get to attack down in this end. They are at full strength as well.
Loza to put this one in. Beckley heading to assist to an assist on that last one. Ball squirts through his feet, but we have a penalty against Charles River. Quickly comes Wiley. Wiley, does he want to go? Wiley certainly does. He is looking to play. Wiley, the touchline, going to have to keep this one in. Nice winding run there. A couple of missed tackles inside the 22. Recycled. Loza has it. Got runners out wide if they can get it there. Looking eventually, that one. Runners just coming across, making it tough there for Kyle Thacker. Thacker offloads that ball to Nico Valencia. Haven't seen Valencia in the game so far out of the wing. Big run here coming from Beckley. Working his way across. He's in front of the post. They've got runners either way. Where is it going to work for them? Trying to dig that out. Little pick and go there from RJ Phillips. Phillips just trying to reset. Back in from the yellow card. Picks and goes right there. Looking to make up for it is Sanchez. Over the line they go, and into the try zone they go. And this Colusa County team is up to a challenge. Hold the ball, score against us. We're coming right back. Another 5 points. Lead change again. 12-10. Pick to come from Colusa.
That was a well-deserved try coming in from Beckley. We've been talking about a lot of the same names for Colusa because they are just so ball hungry and ready to attack. He just got a line break in center field. We see the yellow card, Sanchez, who just recently came back on, making a difference, getting that go forward, and just a dive over the top coming in from Beckley. The raw athleticism coming in for the D3 club player here. Like we've talked about, all of these players have full-time jobs. They just are passionate about this game, and they really show out whenever they get the opportunities to. And Beckley just takes advantage of every single one. Well-deserved try for him, and a kick right in between the sticks could extend Colusa's lead even further.
Loza puts that one up. Doesn't hit it, so a bit of an issue on both sides here. So 12-10, 2 points in it. 28 minutes gone, 12 minutes to go in this first half. We'll take another look.
We haven't really seen a lot of kicking game coming in from either side, so both sides just feel a lot more comfortable at the point of contact, and players like Beckley just seem to get even more comfortable in the mess and the chaos of the points of contact that are happening on attack and defense. So right now, we're seeing Colusa really start to level up. They're working on the discipline. They are aware that Alvarez did not come to play. He came to ref. So yellow cards now coming in for both sides. But Charles River, they can score. They've done it time and time again, especially after Colusa gets down in the try zone.
Charles River down 2 points. Inside the 22 of Colusa. Well taken this time. Looking to run from their own zone there. Into contact they go. Charles River player making a nuisance, but too much so. As the ball comes back, going to be a penalty for player not maintaining their own body weight there at the breakdown, so it's going to be a penalty for Colusa County. Back in is Del Fiore, so both teams back to 15. Joshua Sepulveda is down just for a second. Sepulveda got the worst of it there at that kickoff. Took the ball and tackled pretty heavily by a Charles River player.
Just looks like the fall might have been a little bit awkward there, getting tossed around there. Might have caught a little bit of a knee to the head off of that illegal contest that happened at Rook time coming in for the number 7. So hopefully in true Warrior form, he'll be up and walking and healthy. We hear the whistle blow, so we'll see if he decided to stay on. Looks like he's trotting back over to the right-hand side, so might have just needed to take a second. But we have a penalty that happened by Charles River. Colusa will go ahead and use the boot and try and get out of this end.
They're going to try. They hit it. But might stay in there for just a second. Didn't quite have the distance, but 29 minutes gone. 11 minutes to go in the first half. Colusa County ball. They have been eager to run whenever they can. It's going to be their lineouts. I haven't seen a ton of Colusa lineouts just based on the amount of possession that Charles River has had. That one good. Move it quickly to Wiley. Wiley Just takes a step and distributes. Into the middle of the field they go. Looking to make a big break. RJ Phillips. Phillips gets through a couple. Loza shows, looking for a gap. Loza hands it back. Loza back in the distributor role. Gets it to Wiley. Wiley has some runners. Charles River player down in the backfield there. They get it to Sanchez, but gets ripped out of his hand. Should be an advantage here for Charles River. Charles River looking to make a break themselves. Ball to Elliott Cohen. Cohen. Ball ripped away by Beckley, but we'll go back to the original knock-on to be a scrum here for Charles River. Beckley is really starting to show in this game, the number 8.
And we talk about intelligence a lot in rugby. One of arguably the best parts about playing is that you go to a very dark place and then you try and figure out ways to get yourself out of it. We're ending up into the last 10 minutes of the first half. So a lot of players now, we're starting to see hands on knees. They're going into the thick of it for sure. These are not easy matches, especially 10 to 12. But Beckley, he's just showing that when it comes to rugby, you have to make the adaptable changes as you get tired. He's recognizing weaknesses, doing the dirty work when it comes time for his moment. And because of that, we're just seeing him start to blossom throughout this game. But Charles River, Colusa, both evenly matched sides, and they've got a lot of power there alone in their front pack.
Charles River, middle of the field in both ways. All their runners stacked out to the right-hand side here. Wing starting to work his way over. Comes to Lang. Looking to go wide immediately. On the money is that one. One player to beat. Around they go. Looking for the try zone. Del Priori out of the sin bin into the try zone. 5 points. Charles River, what a set piece move.
I'll tell you what, Del Priori better go find his buddy Piccone there, who just made a beautiful pass. I think that was the outside center, but we'll have the replay coming up for you, all thanks to Next Level Rugby for sure. Right here we see off of set piece, it goes to the fly half and it goes behind the back, so it looks like they take it in on the crash line, but then this beautiful yummy pass just ends up right into the hands of Del Priori. He does the dirty work though of getting around the corner of that fullback. Just the speed and the early footwork leads to a long line break. He only had about 40 meters left of work to do there, so well-deserved try. And now we're seeing Charles River come right back on top.
Del Priori made it a pretty straightforward kick here for Janner. See if he can slot this one. Another lead change in a very exciting first half. We still have 8 minutes to go in this first half. Before we take a breather, Janner to line this one up. Janner, the winds start to pick up just a little bit here at the Round Rock multi-purpose complex. That one is good. It is 17 to 12, 5 points in it. See if Colusa can answer it yet again on the kickoff here on the restart with Donald Keeley, but good work there from Charles River.
Both teams are going to have conversations about what worked well for them coming up at the halftime. We've got about 8 minutes to go, so both are going to have completely different conversations if they go in up above the half. But Colusa right here, their defense has been impeccable, but Charles River finally made the adaptation of going wide and working around the corner. They've got speedsters like Priori, who now has 2 tries to his name. So as they start to utilize him more, Colusa are going to have to make the adjustments. A lot of conversations are going to have to happen at the half.
High hanging kick there, taken down by Charles River. No opportunity right there off the restart as there has been for Colusa. They're going to stay in the hands here. Did that one go forward? No. Referee says we're fine. Back. Lang. Runner on the inward line there. High tackle, inadvertent. Player was going down, but you do have to make sure your body goes down as well. Hard, just a high tackle.
We're going to talk about a lot of fatigue, especially starting now with 5 minutes left to go in the first half. It really starts to set in about this time. And if teams do win today, whether or not it's Colusa or Charles River, that team is going to have to play the defending champion, the Austin Blacks, because it looks like they probably ended up on top. They were leading at whenever we last heard about that game update. But we're going to talk about fatigue right there, especially at the tackle. The body height does start to drop. And so they're going to have to talk about that as well.
line out here to Charles River. 5 minutes, 20 seconds left in the game clock in the first half. They're going to go quick because they've had a little trouble, these lineouts. But Colusa County again, ready to pounce. Colusa County knocks on in there, whoever's going to be a scrum here to Charles River. They've got the height here, Darian. They're just having a little trouble connecting occasionally on those on the lineouts, are Charles River.
Yeah, and it's all about the timing. You want that connection to be on point between your hooker and the jumper. It just looks like either one or the other is getting a little bit too caught up in the timing, and it's just not allowing them to reach full extension. And if you can't reach extension, which is one of the ways to win a line out, it's just going to lead to a little bit of a mess. So Colusa there, they did a good job of contesting, but Charles River just unfortunately ended up there with the ball.
I love the start from Beck there. He gives him a good hard whack to let him know let's win the scrum, be ready to go. But he knocks that one on, unfortunately, in there. So Colusa County will have the scrum here.
Looks like we might have just gone to half. Looks like the AR is leaving the side. So our clock, we're
our clock
catching
was
up
up with
here.
it there, no problem. Yeah, so multiple lead changes. We're going to step aside for halftime. A game in the finals against Austin Blacks on the line. Both teams are going to go discuss the second half. Darian will tell us what they said after the half. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Rugby is a development platform that helps rugby clubs create and sell their on-field, training, and supporters gear. We work with clubs of all sizes, from grassroots to professional, and help them generate revenue to support their continuous development. Attention all rugby fans. World Rugby Shop is your one-stop shop for all your rugby gear needs. Whether you're a seasoned player or just starting out, World Rugby Shop offers an extensive selection of top-quality gear and apparel to elevate your game. From jerseys and shorts to boots and accessories, we've got you covered. Visit us today to see why World Rugby Shop is your ultimate destination for everything rugby. Gear up today.
Rugby's always this macho setting that, you know, it's all about strength. You don't want to show any weakness, but the reality is that people do go through their own battles. Why is it important for us all within the rugby community to really kind of normalise this conversation that surrounds mental health?
We play in a very high stress situation all the time.
There's always a stigma around men that we have to be bravado and like strong.
Within every player, there's always something that you don't always, bring forth to the table, you don't always put out.
Sometimes you don't know it's affecting your game.
You know, learning ways to connect with other guys, be in environments where you can have the right conversations, be yourself, and share has been super helpful and super important to me in my career, and it's allowed me to grow and mature to the point where, I can handle what professional rugby is going to throw at me.
I think rugby's best played when you're happy and you're enjoying it and you're confident. And I think that these core tenets of being able to play well are fundamentally structured in having a clear mind and not having anything weighing and dragging you down. So clearing up and strengthening the mental aspect is going to inevitably affect the physical aspect. So I think they're completely connected there.
It's hugely important for the safety and well-being of players, looking after their mental health, but more importantly off the pitch. At the end of the day, we're not just players, we're humans, and we need to look after ourselves.
I'd say my favorite Thorn product is creatine, white protein, vitamin D, super EPA, fish oil pills.
I chose to take Thorn supplements over another brand because they're sports backed.
We know it's tested and it's safe to use.
There's a wide variety of benefits that range from sport performance to neurological benefits. I know it helps me increase my lifting capacity.
That they're third-party tested, that they're NSF certified.
And they also taste great, so that's why I choose Thorn.
A message from the rugby universe. America, get in the game! It's time the sleeping giant of rugby got off the sideline and into the action. But like all big jobs, you'll need the right tools. Go to worldrugbyshop.com for boots, jerseys, shorts, and scrum caps. Everything you'll need to rock and roll. Get the right kit for playing and training, plus the finest selection of official supporters gear from around the globe. worldrugbyshop.com, America's home for rugby.
May is Mental Fitness Month.
Major League Rugby has partnered with USI Insurance Services and Looseheads
In a united effort to tackle the stigma.
Together, we are committed to changing the game.
With the mission of placing a mental health lead in every rugby club
around the world.
With the right plan, the right team, and hard work, even the most unpredictable events can be overcome. At USI, you have the whole team on your side, protecting you from the unexpected and making sure you bounce back better than ever. We take the time to understand your concerns and provide solutions with customized game plans for you and your business. It's Major League focus and results for you, and we call it the USI One Advantage.
I chose to take Thorn supplements over another brand because they're sports backed. The products are also top of the line and they also taste great. It's important that the substances athletes take are tested for banned substances. One, because you want to make it a fair, even game, especially with the other players. And you want to make sure what you're putting into your body as an athlete is clean, researched, science-based, and it's healthy for you. So you want to put good in and get good out.
Yeah, Thorn has helped me a lot, especially in the last couple of months. I've had to pack on some weight to be able to play in this league, and I think taking creatine and protein every day and adding in a couple other things has made me a better athlete, a bigger athlete, stronger athlete, and just overall prepared me well. So I take creatine every morning when I first wake up. It's kind of like my checklist or part of my routine. I usually have a protein shake, a Thorn whey as well, so I usually just throw it in there or throw it in with some BCAAs. Whey protein definitely makes my life easier because I can come straight off the gym, straight off the pitch, and it takes 30 seconds to mix up a protein shake and get down some extra protein.
From the Sharks, number 8.
Once again, Van der Hoven up in the air. Inciarte. Oitomen, he breaks. Will he have the support? Be there and support. It's a long run. Will he get there? He gets there. It's a try. Under the post. 7 points.
Welcome back to Round Rock, Texas, just outside of Austin, the beautiful capital of this state. It is the 2024 Club National Championships, USA Club Rugby's ultimate weekend. It's a D3 semifinal. The winner of this game will play Austin Blacks tomorrow in the finals. Currently, after a couple late changes, Charles River leads Colusa County. Very good team. You see good players on both teams. Big try scored by Charles River from their forwards. But it's been interesting from Mike Del Priori, the wing, on a long-range try there after a sin bin at Darien. He's been all over the place for this Charles River team.
And Del Priori is one of the main characters here in this story because he did have to have a seat after a yellow card there way back whenever Colusa was trying to score a penalty try, actually ended up getting them into the lead initially. But we've just seen him really come in and recover very, very well. Del Priori is just being very patient, very methodical there, and the ball movement just seems to be increasing as the game goes on within Charles River. Colusa, though, one thing to be talked about is going to be them as well. Their defensive line was impeccable in those first 20 minutes, so we'll see if they can come with the same energy. Halftime just ended. We had the conversations. They had the talks about what needed to be done. I'm sure Del Priori had a couple of things to say about how he wanted the ball, but John, both teams playing very good rugby, but they're just going to have to see what team can hold out the longest and keep a hold of this game.
Absolutely, Darren. Both teams, one from Northern California above Sacramento, one team from the Northeast from Boston, haven't played really in heat like this and a bit of humidity. Not as humid as it was yesterday, but that could play a factor as the game goes on in this D3 semifinal. As you see the referee just about set to go. We'll see how the reserve benches and everything plays on here. 3 tries, 2 by Del Priore. My apologies to the family. I said he only scored 1 there, but then a pushover try, just 1 conversion in it. A penalty try and an unconverted try for Colusa County. So will these kicks of post become important? You see Beckley right there, the captain for Colusa County Rugby. He has been excellent so far in this game. Every opportunity he has taken. Kickoff set to come. Trip to the Division III National Championship game is on the line. Charles River from right to left on your screen in the green and orange, and in the black and some green is going to be Colusa County. Just about ready to go. Second half underway as soon as the whistle blows. Referee Alvarez gets us going here, and the second half is underway. Everything to play for. We'll see what kind of adjustments they made, and not the adjustment a coach would want right there from Charles River. Do not make it 10 with that first restart after the break.
That's not how you want to start off with, but we did see the second half start out with a bang there coming in from number 8, Beckley Colusa. He scored a try there for them that led to their lead kind of extending until Charles River answered back quickly. Beckley, though, one of the most adaptable players on this Colusa side, has really showed out. But Charles River just continue to have these opportunities to be able to attack. But starting with this half, they're going to have to play a lot of defense.
First scrum of the half, second half at the 50 for Colusa County. They move it out to Wiley. Wiley gets it to the hard running man right there, Sanchez, but he spills it, went back, referee says. Quick ball in hand. Valencia has to take it in. Charles River players told to get away, and they do. And now at the distributor role is J.W. Davis. Gets it up into one of the big boys' hands. Is that Beckley? Good run. Davis, number 16, playing the distributor role there, gets it out. Hard running from Thomas Stevens. I think this is something they talked about as being a bit more physical. Get it across field. There is Sanchez. Sanchez around a couple. Spinning through, still not held. Good start here from Colusa County. They got runners wide. Are they going to use them? No, they will not. Nico Valencia into contact. Penalty against right there for not rolling away. Charles River, well, not rolling away on their own team there. A look.
And John, you had mentioned it as we were watching the play progress that there were numbers outside wide to burn. You see 2 attackers out there for Colusa. Just the unfortunate decision there coming in from Valencia to go ahead and take that in. And he was extremely isolated, just didn't have anybody to come in and clean up that ruck. So Charles River does a good job of getting in there. They also do a good job of exiting. We talked a lot about their first half being very well managed. They know what to do in all situations across the pitch, and that's going to really come into play, especially in the second half. We saw Colusa rack up a lot of penalties in the first one as well.
Ball up there to Charles River. They delayed a little bit, so Colusa County going up early, so get an easier road there. Out the back they go, ball slips by. And they get that ball away. They're inside their 22 playing with fire. Because Sanchez picks it up. Sanchez looking at the line. Sanchez so wanted to reach out and take that one, but it wasn't there for him. Having to dig it out. There around the back goes Howell trying to put it in. On their own goal line is Charles River. Colusa County driving over. Referee on the spot there. Where can they make this happen? Are they going to keep it tight? Move it wide instead. Big boy, a little flip between the legs there. Wonderful work from Blake Rogers to get that ball out. And a try scored by Colusa County, but a forward pass. It's going to be a scrum here for Charles River. What a piece of skill not to be rewarded for.
You're not allowed.
I'm talking. He says because we won the ball, it's whatever. What? You got it. Same thing we were just saying.
Forward pass is the call coming in, but what a risky play that almost played off there from Rogers. The inside center gives a quick 1-2 hut. And unfortunately, it just got caught a little bit forward there. So the possession is going to go back in favor of the Charles River side. But they've got a lot of meters to come out. And Charles River is being put under a lot of pressure against Colusa. This defensive line is really trying to get back down in this end and get possession of the ball.
Ball in here from Charles River. Looking for the kick. Take a little time on that. It doesn't find touch. It's rolling in the midfield there. Around the back comes Howell. Howell beats the first couple. Howell. Contact. Have the ball again. J.W. Davis, a replacement scrum half here. Moves it out into the hands of Connor Herrick. Herrick. Davis. Shorter this time.
Off the net, please. Off the net.
Davis again, Wiley. Hard, straight running, as you would expect from Sanchez. Sanchez, happy to do it on his own if he can, but gets that one away. Can they hold it up? Have done, and it is J.W. Davis, the replacement scrum half. Suns get down for Colusa County. First points of the second half, tie it up for Colusa.
And we talk about the substitutes that come in. They are the finishers because they come in and they bring the hype. And right there, Davis, the replacement number 9, runs a beautiful support line off of Sanchez. We see Davis. He's on this right-hand side. He's our scrum half. And right there, Sanchez gets the line break. It's the line, though, that works very well for Davis there. He's just patient, lets Sanchez do all of the work, and just maintains that form. Sanchez, though, should get all of the credit because all he did was just rumble through the line. A good bit of footwork, puts 2 hands back on the ball to make sure it gets in the hands of Davis and right in between the sticks. Colusa needed that answer to come back against Charles River, especially as they led into the first half.
Davis went to Chico State.
I was 60 now.
National championship here. Is an agricultural consultant and farmer out of Middletown, California. That kick is good. We've done a lead change here as Colusa County jumps to 19-17. 6 minutes gone in this D3 semifinal second half. And Sanchez, Darren, just kind of wills himself through that line. It's impressive. He was no support players around him, just found a seam there and right through the defense. Impressive play, great try, Colusa County.
And here's what I love is that we're seeing a lot of breakout play coming in from both of our yellow cards. In the first half, Sanchez got a yellow card, and we talked about Del Priore here earlier. That's on the Charles River side as well. So both teams had their minutes, and both players had about 10 minutes in the sin bin, but they're making the adaptation. They're playing smart rugby, and this is what it's all about on championship weekend, are the smart decisions.
All things being equal, Sanchez has a better haircut. Ball in for Charles River. Charles River looking to answer here. Down 2 points again. 7 minutes gone. Plenty of time. Referee whistles. There was an initial knock on there, so we'll come to a scrum for Charles River.
And 7 minutes are gone here, so we still have a lot of rugby to play. About 30 minutes left until we'll decide the teams will decide who will go into the final on Sunday that will play against the Austin Blacks, the defending champion. But recovery is going to be crucial here. These sides are very evenly matched. We're seeing finishers like Davis, the number 16 on Colusa, come in and really start to bring this side up. Charles River is going to have to start playing that smart game management, especially because they've got another one possibly to play here on Sunday.
Charles River have Timothy Farrell in, a replacement scrum half here. A very good first half. We'll see what Farrell can do. The referee just having a chat. The boys to continue to do this legally.
Coach. Boy. That's better. Don't do that.
Ball in from Farrell. At the feet of Meade. Comes out there to Lang, looking for a little wraparound, possibly going to hang on to it. Big tackle comes in from Sanchez. Doing an awful lot on both sides of the ball. Farrell, a little slow. Nice inside run, however, the seam just opens up, looking for some support. Can't quite find it. Is that Charles River player trying to get the number for you there? think it was Cassidy. Comes through and they do. Player can't get isolated. Has to keep his feet. Big tackle from Colusa County. Well done to get that back into the sport. Little pick and go off the side there from Stefanski. Ball up. Another ball well taken. Here comes Charles River. Can they answer quickly? Farrell. Forward. Little show there. Just slows down the defense. Ball comes back, but referee says it's fine. Farrell's going to get this one moving. Coney. Ball up into the hands of one of the try scorers, Hughes.
Yes.
Ball across now into the hands of Pellegrino Conti. Conti. Here to Doherty. Little wider channel to go. Did that one get knocked on? If not, it got rolled in a touch. Referee has a call. However, it's going to be a scrum here for Colusa County. Colusa County just forcing this team to go a little bit sideways, Charles River. Up by 2 points right now. 9 minutes, 40 seconds going on in the second half.
And Colusa got caught 2 times slipping there on the interior defense. It led to 2 line breaks coming in from Charles River. But one thing that they're really good at is that middle defense, the peanut butter and jelly to the sandwich. Right there, the bread's just running a little bit stale there within the interior and the outside. But in the middle there, they've got these big defenders, Beckley, Sanchez. They're working tirelessly there in the middle, so it's generating the turnovers that they need. But Charles River is going to really have to start figuring out how to test those interior defenses within the forwards, because it's working very well for them.
Evans, a try scorer, gets that one out. Wiley puts it to the boot, keeps it in field. Good distance down to the Charles River 40. Charles River for some movement here. That's Bowser. Bowser not held. He's able to get up. Bowser slips another one. Bowser in through the line. Was that a high tackle coming in from the back there? It looked like it from here, but referee says play on. Here come some of the big fellas again. Nice tip pass. Can they hang on to this? Tom Murray to the ground. Errol gets it out of there with no ruck at all. It's Cormac Hughes. Cormac Hughes. They're outside of the Colusa County 22 again. Getting some momentum against a tough defense like this will be important. Now out of the wing is the number 9 there, Josh Beck. Hasn't left the field, has the vice captain. Just switched positions. Colusa County trying to dig in over this one. Farrell trying to get it. Colusa County players on the ground there. Referee must have said it's fine, so keep playing. So here comes Cormac Hughes. Hughes. To contact. Farrell. Lang. Good defensive line coming up there. Good work. Players coming in, trying to come in and over that one are the Colusa County team. Referee getting people on side. They have to keep their discipline. And that is just a silly penalty. We're going to have a chat here. I believe we're going to lose a player for that.
Bring the 4. Please bring the 4. You are in an offside position and you do an intentional knock-on, and that's why you get a yellow card.
I believe that was Matt Huffman. Talk us through this, Darian.
Yeah, that's a call.
I mean, it really doesn't need much words. Huffman tries to be a little bit cheeky here by flinging up the arms almost to try and say he's getting out of the way, but he's got eyes on the ball. Alvarez sees him. It's a blatant type of mistake in here in the front. So Huffman, unfortunately, will have a seat. You can see that he's already guilty the moment that he starts walking off. It's just unfortunate for Colusa now. They've given up meters after meters in penalties for Charles River. Charles River is only up top by 2 points, but having a seat in the sin bin for 10 minutes could cost you a try or two. We saw that happen with them earlier, so we'll see how Charles River can kind of come on top against Colusa that's just hanging on by a thread for the lead.
Drive coming here from Charles River. Went down on an advantage here, so referee says it was pulled down. So free play here. Nice run. The line opens up there. Bowser, and he scored a try as well. Bowser over the line, at the line, pardon me. Not quite there. Farrell trying to dig that one out. Referee telling the Colusa County players to get rid of it. He's over the side there. Lang has it. It bounces back. Who has it? Was it knocked on? I think they may come back for a penalty here.
That one had me on the edge of my seat. I didn't know who was going to come up with the ball. Almost like they were playing hot potato down there.
Well, Bowser was going to come in with that one. Honestly, we'll take another look here.
Just a beautiful, selfless play that happened there in the middle from the outside center. Gets the number 14 into space very, very well. He's just short. Bowser almost gets over there. And we see Farrell. He's trying to ask for the penalty. Could have had the space open wide if he wanted it. but it doesn't matter. Charles River now already off to the attack.
Charles River on the move again. One player advantage, big forward off the field for this Colusa County team. Barrel. Referee checking the onsides here. Tom Murray in the first receiver role, but it skips over the top of him. Goes to Beck, the vice captain. Scrum half of the first half. Blake Rogers has him up in the air. It's going to be very hard for him to get to the ground there. It's probably going to be a maul driven towards the try zone. Trying to keep it going is Charles River. Referee whistles us up. Going to give the scrum here to Colusa County on their own 5-meter line. Try saving, swallowed up a player there by Blake Rogers.
Yeah, after the pass from Farrell over the top, we call it hospital passes for a reason because it ends up putting the receiver just in a very poor position there. Farrell goes over the top. He does well to gather it, even though it's kind of up over the shoulders, but forwards like Rogers just foam at the mouth for the high body height that comes in from the number 9 and it just swallows him whole, and the other forwards just seem to also want to bite out of it as well. Colusa really didn't want to allow them in the try zone there. They are playing down a man currently. Huffman is having a seat there, the number 4, so changes are going to have to be made there, but Colusa, well-deserved defensive effort coming in for them.
Colusa up by 2 again, spending a lot of time in their own zone here. Plenty of time, just 11.5 minutes gone in this second half. And the winner will play Austin Blacks tomorrow. Game will be at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central. This game, of course, on this field is going to be South Buffalo versus Tampa Crew D2 women. Darren will be on for that one. Messy ball there in the try zone. Big work here from Wiley trying to get it out of there. Ball is down. It's going to be a scrum turned over this time. It's going to be Charles River opportunity. Wiley really just had no options back there.
The pressure that just came in from the front row there, Huffman's having a seat, so 7 to 8, and then the pressure that Davis is just under, he did have a little bit more time, and Farrell just does a good job of making the chase there. He doesn't do well at succeeding in the contact, but already the back row is just over top of the number 10. There's just not enough time for him to be able to do anything, whether that be passing it or kicking it out of bounds. So right now we're going to have Charles River now have possession, and it's just not where you want to be if you're on the Colusa side.
Ball to come in for Farrell. Again, one extra player in the forwards here for this Charles River team. Will they try to get a squeeze on? They will not. They're going to go for it at the back. And it is going to be Patrick Mead. And Patrick Mead is going to put another lead change on there. Happy man, Patrick Mead, touches down for 5. And Charles River takes a lead in this game.
Mead knew exactly what they needed there. Charles River needed to try and get at least one score in with Colusa still being down a man. 14 on 15 means that there's a mismatch somewhere, and it happened in the forwards. This battle for the finalist spot for the D3 has really come down to these forward line breaks and these forward mismatches that are happening. And Colusa, they get pinned down in that end after a lot of pressure coming in from the scrum. Mead, the number 8, knows that Charles River is just more stable, so this push over, this bullying that happens at the front row sets a stable platform for Mead. Job's not done yet, but Mead just extends the body, powers through the hips, and gets over that line, scores the try, and that's crucial for Charles River. They're now on top after a Colusa lead, and you can just see what it means.
Yeah, there was no number 8 there for Colusa at the back, so a little tough to cover that, but both Wiley and Evans could have been a little closer in there possibly. Pick is good there, so good work for Charles River as they extend their lead. As we've seen, Colusa, every time they're called to action, they have seemed to answer, so expect some excitement in the next couple of minutes here. Wiley. Maybe a little chat with the referee there. Just want a little. It was Davis, the replacement. Scrum half. Wiley gets us going again. Short kick into the hands of Charles River. Charles River trying to stay inside the field of play. And do. It looked like Jonathan Tollin took that one in. Replacement Farrell. Ball pops up in the air and kicked forward. Is it forward? Referee says yes, indeed it was. Probably a smart play from Charles River there, just hacking away. Come back and you have the scrum against you. Look at the Colusa County coach.
Shout out to the coaches for both coaches who were able to come down here. Charles River, the coach, we know that he probably had a lot to say at the half there because it was so well matched between the two sides, but we're starting to see Charles River really open up the space. 24-19. Colusa is down a man, and they're also now down a try, so they are going to have to answer. John, you just mentioned it. When desperate times call for desperate measures, Colusa definitely measures up.
Big push coming in again while they're down a player there. Are they going to get a penalty out of this? Ball comes out the back. Good work there by Colusa County. Charles River trying to drive them over the touchline. Cannot do so. Referee saying, oh, boys, you got to get outside here. Here's Dealey. Dealey, a very powerful player. Hasn't had a lot of ball in hand today, but Evans now is going to move it. Don't have a lot of runners out wide. We'll see what has to happen here as Thomas Stevens comes to the ground. Now they're looking for the width. Do they have the runners here? A little cut back in. Colusa County, ball to the ground. Sanchez steps into the distributor role, gets it to Thomas Stevens. Stevens. Ball ripped away, it seems, by Charles River. Charles River going to take this one away. Key moment in the game right there. Just about 15 minutes gone in the second half. And they've got some runners up this side if they want to. They're going to go to the boot. Ball just spews back in. Maybe not the option, but it's going to put some pressure under these players from Colusa. Colusa chooses to kick it far back. Winds up in the hands of a Charles River player there. Thought they were playing with fire, and the match was lit. Colusa County coming over that one. If they can dig this out, there's options everywhere. Looking up to that right-hand side. Onto the ground there. That's Josh Delaney. Now they're out a little wider there. He's got 3. That's Mike Del Priori. Hat trick in the semifinals. Right man at the right time. I should have known this from the Charles River coach with the Scally cap. And they moved their lead ahead. Charles River looking strong.
Del Priori, we didn't really hear much of him for the first 20 minutes of that match, but of this half, but it looks like he's just sitting there and he's just waiting for those opportune moments to really arise. Right here we see it, they either try and get it back to this wing that's waiting, but nobody falls on it. The miscommunication happens so quickly, and so does this Charles Rivers chase here. We see Farrell, he recognizes that nobody folds to the right-hand side. There's a little disruption there that delays it, but there's nothing but space there coming around. They get cut short, and right there, it's just an easy wrap around the corner. Del Priori, he does a good job of the ball security. 3 tries now for Del Priori, for Charles River. It's really just continuing to extend the lead. Colusa, their defense and their attack, both just running about as flat as an open soda. We're seeing the fatigue start to set in here, and it looks like we're gonna also do our 20-minute water break.
We're gonna head into a hydration break in just a second. We'll wait for this kick. Extend the lead here. Bryce Janner, good kicker, has the distance, has the length, hasn't hit on a couple of them. Just adjusting to a field. Ball from Janner. Janner hits that one, so they extend their lead, does Charles River. We're going to go to a hydration break for the moment. Right now, we're going to throw down to Tyler Deutsch on the sidelines. Tyler, what's happening?
It took Charles River about as much time as it took them to find a Duncan here in Texas this morning on their way to the game. But they found that try, and then they found a sweet one right before the water break because things are heating up. Cracks are starting to show. Discipline was bad in the first, but the teams are starting to pick it up here, and I really don't know what's going to happen here in the remaining 20 minutes, but I'll leave it up to you guys. You're calling a good game so far. Back up to you.
Thanks a lot. We're going to step aside. We'll be back in just a second with the rest of this matchup.
Frito Rugby is a development platform that helps rugby clubs create and sell their on-field, training, and supporters gear. We work with clubs of all sizes, from grassroots to professional, and help them generate revenue to support their continuous development. Attention all rugby fans. World Rugby Shop is your one-stop shop for all your rugby gear needs. Whether you're a seasoned player or just starting out, World Rugby Shop offers an extensive selection of top quality gear and apparel to elevate your game. From jerseys and shorts to boots and accessories, we've got you covered. Visit us today to see why World Rugby Shop is your ultimate destination for everything rugby. Gear up today.
Rugby's always this macho setting that, you know, it's all about strength. You don't want to show any weakness, but the reality is that people do go through their own battles. Why is it important for us all within the rugby community to really kind of normalise this conversation that surrounds mental health?
We play in a very high stress situation all the time.
There's always a stigma around men that we have to be bravado and like strong.
Within every player, there's always something that you don't always, bring forth to the table, you don't always put out.
Sometimes you don't know it's affecting your game.
You know, learning ways to connect with other guys, be in environments where you can have the right conversations, be yourself, and share has been super helpful and super important to me in my career, and it's allowed me to grow and mature to the point where, I can handle what professional rugby is going to throw at me.
I think rugby's best played when you're happy and you're enjoying it and you're confident. And I think that these core tenets of being able to
Welcome back. We're going to find out who is going to play the Alston Blacks tomorrow as we take a look at the third Michael Del Priori try for this Charles River team, who has taken the lead again. Colusa County restarting here after our water break. Low kick, well taken. What a player Wiley is, right? He just puts his team in good positions whenever he has the ball. Right there, he gets them with ball in hand immediately. Down 10 points, 29-19. There's 18 minutes left to go in this matchup. Plenty of time. Colusa County gets a start. Wiley, long pass across, but that one slips in behind. It's taken in, but they lose some ground. Charles River players trying to dig in over this one. Ball's ripped away. Referee says that's fine. That was Peck. His move from scrum half another roll, but did that get knocked? It did. Colusa County pressure going to result in a Colusa County scrum here. Opportunity for the men from Northern California.
Looks like we might have a player down. Hal just really slow to get up after that pass that just went right over the top. We call them hospital passes whenever they go over the top because it leads to those injuries. It just doesn't leave your teammate in a very good position to be able to take contact. And Charles River, they do a good job of coming up on the defensive line here. We are now entering into game time here, and 19-29 with Charles River on top. They've only got about 10 points to their name, which might seem like a lot. And as you watch the minutes start to dwindle away, it can really start to put pressure on them. But Colusa, they're in a good attacking platform. It looks like Huffman, the yellow card, is back on. So Colusa is back to full strength, and they're going to need it if they want to try and play against the Blacks on Sunday.
Certainly will as we get going here. It's a scrum here. Davis. Jobs as he can. Ball off the back there to Beck. They founded the team, the number 8, the captain. Gets the 22. Ball sitting there. They're going to have to do something with this as Charles River putting a little pressure on there. That's Michael Dobson, wearing number 20. Comes in and takes that. Charles River player. Trying to roll away there. Referee keeping people on side. It's coming out from Evans. Evans gets it up there to Blake Rogers. Ball across Wiley. Gets it to the hard man. That is Dylan Sanchez. Dylan Sanchez gets crowded by defenders at Big on that time, and that one's still full. Replay here for Charles River. That's for Coney. Coney hangs one up in the air, but not going to get the ground they wanted, so we'll have a scrum here for Charles River. Not a bad option for Coney. Coney said he's been voted 3-time most improved player at Charles River Dairy, and I don't know how that could happen.
Maybe he just keeps on improving every single year. They think that he can't get any better, and then he just shows up again. Or maybe he gave himself that award. We don't know the story behind it. But if there's one team that seems to be...
Good, twice as good, you know, 3 times. That throws me a little bit.
Third time is a charm, I guess. He's dubbed himself the most improved player.
Keep improving, Mr. Draconi. We love you. You went to St. John's Prep in Massachusetts. And went to Clemson and Alabama. Said his team got here from hard work, determination, and avoiding family obligations for months at a time. That is the Charles River secret to getting to this game. Ball to come in here from Timothy Farrell. Ball at the feet of the try scorer, Patrick Mead. They get that one away to Lang in the middle of the field. They got some runners out wide. A little pass back inside. Opens up and closes quickly. Big coming in. That one, it looked like Thomas Stevens. Farrell. Tony. A little pass back in, but forward. Scrum inside the 22 here for Colusa County. A mistake that didn't need to happen. Scrum for Colusa County, and they can get the score a little closer.
And you can just see the frustration set in early for Murray, or I think that was Hughes who tipped it back inside there. But this beautiful inside line, just avoiding all the defense like the family obligations some of these players do. But right here we just see the inside pass there. It's just not on. The tips on the outside is, but Hughes, he just goes ahead and he bumps it back on the inside instead of moving it to the right. Just decides, and the decision doesn't pay off for them. Does pay off well for Colusa.
Well, coming back in here for Colusa, they've got runners in either direction. You see Kyle Sanchez lining up there. I believe he only sees one line in the field at the moment, be the try zone just a bit away there. Balls come in here from Evans. Which way will he go? Is he going to go towards Wiley? Is he going to go towards Sanchez? Be wrong at both counts. He's going to take it off the bat. Little collision there. Evans has a hold of the ball. Evans, quick ball out there. Steven. Really steady player, doing a lot of the hard work. Stevens carrying when he can. Blake Rogers shows and goes. Pushes off one. Blake Rogers eventually gets to the round. Goes himself. They're about 10 meters out right now. Charles River player trying to roll in over that one. Ball out to Wiley. Wiley looking for a runner. Gets it back there. Big hits coming in. Well done. Nico Valencia had nowhere to go. Charles River trying to get this ball and disrupting the contact. Come back around. He's Sanchez, but in tight this time. Evans. Ball out. There has to come back in again. That's Dealey. Dealey loves to have a run. Dealey makes a couple of meters, gets that ball back. Sustained pressure here from Colusa County. Not looking wide so far, but a little tip pass in there to Stevens. Good support to clean that off. Evans holds it for just a second. Gets it back there to Herrick. Herrick tackle behind the gain line. Dealey to clean it up. Ball across up there to Sanchez. Sanchez doesn't get it clean. It bobbles a little bit. A little bit of work to do there. Still makes meters. Cross field they come. Looking for the kick. Inside the 22. It's rolling into the try zone. And they get it. Wasn't kicked out by the Charles River player. Loud whistle there. We're going to come back for something. I would assume a penalty against Charles River.
Yeah, that whistle sounded a little angry there coming in from Alvarez. So it was a penalty that went in favor of Colusa. That was a lot of phases played by them, and it looked like they just kept continuously getting caught flat-footed there. And because of that, the kick chase does work. It's a well-timed kick. It did give time for that chase to come from Colusa, but number 11, Del Priore, he just loves us saying his name. He kicks it out and relieves the pressure, but right now, Colusa is just banging on the door against the Charles River side.
Yeah, Colusa County just takes a quick tap there. Takes a tap, not so quick. They're just going to try to power this one through. They know they need points. They're 10 points down. They're at the try zone right now. Referee on the clock there. Are they going to be able to go? Players digging their way over. Referee looking at this pile of humans. Trying again. Are they going to get this? They are eventually. It's going to go over. It's going to be a try. The replacement scrum half, J.W. Davis. 5 points on the board. They've cut the lead to 5. Oh.
And that's a second try going in favor of Davis just because he's in the right spot at the right time. Runs a good line there. We see them get caught just short after pick and go and pick and go. Colusa's just trying to get themselves a little bit of space there. And right through the interior defense, the defender that's on the outside shoots up, misses the tackle on Davis, and then he cuts back inside where that defender once was. Smart individual play coming in for Colusa. And so now 19 points they had plus 5 would get them to 24. And we should be almost tied up.
There are 10 minutes to go in this one. Wiley taking his time. He's going to allow Wiley to put the ball back in the tee here. Said Darian, 5 points in it right now. 3.
We're in this business because we like to talk, not do math. That's for sure.
Wiley slots that one, gets him to 26. It's a 3-point game. So a penalty kick ties it up. Unconverted try wins it for Colusa. 8.5 minutes to go. Charles River to kick this one off. First restart of the half for Charles River. Didn't go 10. They're going to want to cure that first. Play down the other end of the field. We take another look at it here.
And we have no idea how this game is going to end. 9 minutes left. Time will fly by for both sides, and it might drag on some for Charles River as they are barely holding on to a lead against Colusa. We're getting to the point now where we're going to determine who's going to play against the Austin Blacks on Sunday for the D3 championship. So both teams are going to be fighting physically, but the fatigue, the tired legs, the effort that they've played the last 70 minutes is really going to make a name for themselves here.
Hanging up in that midday sun here in Austin. Colusa County, after just scoring a try, has ball back in their hands. A couple of more substitutes in here for Charles River. They just need a defensive fresh legs. You see Tollin in there. Andrew's been in the game for a bit. Where number 3 is this space going to open up? Not fully. Colusa County players in and over that quick. Try score Davis. They're asking to get that ball out. They're going to launch this one by boot downfield. They want to play in the other end there. They want to force some mistakes. Great kick. Doesn't make it inside the 22. Be a line out here for Charles River. They decide to go quick. Maybe a very intelligent play there until they knock that ball on. What looked like a good idea and should have been a launch by the boot is going to wind up in a Colusa County scrum here with 7 minutes to go, and you hear the excitement from Colusa County.
You can feel the excitement for Colusa, and you can feel the disappointment come in for Charles River. There was no need to rush that line out. You have the time. Give it a little bit of minutes to try and get the line out to start. They elect to go quick, and Del Priore, this has not been common for him. 3 tries to the name. He knows how to catch the ball, but when it comes time to those crucial minutes, he faltered a little bit under pressure, just took his eyes off the ball for a second. Colusa's in center field on the 22. You can't ask for a better possibly final last opportunity
to get from Colusa County. Off the back of Beck. Davis. Get to the Sanchez. Sanchez caught by a bootlace. Ball up there. Colusa County on the move here. This is where they're dangerous. Beck, a little pass out the back there. Stevens, after all the hard work, gets a ball in hand right there. Evans, moving a little wider. Wiley, outside defense is there, but referee spots offsides there, so it's going to be a ball here to Colusa County. A little warning from the referee.
If I see that again in the 22, I have my option.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
They're going to go quick. Looking for the big boys. Coming in and trying to rip that away is Charles River. Ball here in the middle of the field. Out they go. Looking for an inside runner. Wiley can't get that one over. They come. Looking for more here. Need those points. Remember, unconverted try puts them ahead. We're under 5 minutes to go in this semifinal. Winner plays the Austin Blacks. Patrick has a wonderful night in Austin. Evan. The short side here gets to Beckley. Beckley founded this team. Beckley captains this team. I said it before. He would love nothing more than to bring them to a national championship game. Ball up there into the hands of Connor Herrick. Herrick, replacement. Ball's up in the air. Can they rip that away? Tom Murray, good job stopping, but still on the move. Davis looking for runners. Which way is he going to go? He's going to come in this direction. Go to Sanchez. Sanchez will lose the ball forward, and Charles River's going to launch it downfield. What kind of ground are they going to make? Enough to get out of safely. It's going to be a line out, however, Colusa County. A little bit of luck there for Charles River. Just a greasy ball in this humidity. Coming from north of Sacramento. Not used to that.
And that just hurts. They were just able to get around the corner, get a couple of meters. They were working so hard to get through that defensive line, and just the 1 second slip of the ball security ends them up with out that opportunity. They worked so hard to get there. So now Charles River, they've got possession. Looks like they don't have possession. Colusa will get an opportunity, but they can't blow this one. It's go time.
Colusa comes down with it, not cleanly, but they get it back. Actually over, Davis is there. They're at the 22. They need some momentum. They get one of the big fellas. Another ball squirts out. Goes back to Charles River. 2 unfortunate mistakes in a row. So a scrum advantage here to Charles River. Gotta watch what you're going to do here. Too many phases, and you're in live play here. Maybe a set piece that burns some clock with 3 minutes to go. That's what we're going to come up to. 3 minutes to go. Every second that ticks off the clock right now is a friend to Charles River.
And most definitely a foe for Colusa. They just aren't allowing themselves to get a whole lot of time here. Knock on after knock on now for them. It just gives possession right back to Charles River. We've only got possibly 2.5 minutes. Referee's time is what says goes. So depending on what that looks like for them, Colusa are going to have to get desperate. They have to get the ball back if they want to try and compete on Sunday. And Charles River, they're going to have to keep the ball against an aggressive launching side like Colusa.
Colusa is going to be throwing everything at you here defensively. So have to be tight, have to be on point here. Send a runner right up back towards the forwards. That is Piccone. Avoiding family obligations, heading into rucks. Sorry, I just love that.
I think every rugby dad would argue that that's why he joined rugby.
I think that most rugby people have gone to these kind of levels would certainly say. As the ball comes down, they're playing keep ball right now as Charles River. There's under 2 minutes to go. Do they want to play possession or do they want to play territory? Right now they want to play possession. Just like a 2-minute drill basketball right here. And they draw a penalty. Colusa, and they make that big hit. See all the players from Charles River just staying tight there. And this may be how they would like to end the game. Minute and a half of the game clock ripped away by Colusa County. Colusa County gets to Wiley. Wiley gets to Beckley. Beckley gets to the ground. Charles River going to have to regather here. Another attacking opportunity on the late stages of this game for Colusa County. Davis, in, referee looking to make sure everybody is on sides. A spin move there from Michael Dobson. Charles River. Ball from Evan. Evan. He spilled that one. Ball clean. Where's it going to come? Penalty against Charles River. It is 3 points in it. Hick would tie it. Wright would win it. We are running out of time here. We will see what they decide to do. Evan has ball in hand. See 22 in the background there. Tense moments here. Darian, look at that.
I have nails in mouth because I just feel the tension that's coming between the two. They're already off to the races. Colusa's going to give it everything that they've got.
Saw the man right there, Sanchez, take that one in. The power coming, trying to get in. Charles River has to be careful here. Penalty's just going to compound on him anyway. Ball goes back up over, doesn't quite get there to Valencia, so he's stopped behind the gain line. Charles River regathering here. Evans taking his time. Just a little one out. To Sanchez. Sanchez happy to play as a forward right there if he has to. Look in the middle of the field. There's the run. There's Beckley. Beckley isn't held. Can Beckley get up and go? Beckley's at the line. What happens here? Referee whistles. Referee awards a try, and at the death, Colusa County touches down for 5. Captain, number 8, Cody Beckley.
And Beckley celebrates with the belly out. That's game. That's over. Colusa looks like they're going to go and play the Austin Blacks, the defending champion, tomorrow after penalty against Charles River. Right there, though, we see the pass, the selfless play coming in from the forwards. Colusa just had these bullying, aggressive forwards that knew how to attack the line, and Beckley, the captain, the founder, the heart of this side, and the swag as well, now gets the position to go in against the Blacks in Austin here at Round Rock. The 31-29 Colusa on top.
Unless there's a lot of penalty time, this should be the last play of the game right here. Charles River has given it. Oh, it's 31-31. We got the wrong score up here. We apologize. Now it rides on this kick.
Oh! This is some scary stuff, John. There's been just turn after turn of events.
It was exciting enough, the score, that we thought we had it. So it's tied up right now. This could go into extra time.
No way.
And it will not. It's still going to be Colusa County. So tying try scored by Beckley. Apologies on the score again. Unhelpful in the situation that we're in. But Colusa County will play the Austin Blacks tomorrow. That is going to be some matchup. Charles River opportunities to put that game away. Couldn't quite make it happen. We are going to send down in just a second to Tyler Deutsch talking to Cody Beckley. Tyler, you there in just a second.
I'm here with RJ, a.k.a. the big dog, a.k.a. the one who scored that amazing last-minute exhilarating try. Come on, let's come with the guys. Let's get with the boys over here. Tell me a little bit about it.
Hey, it's all great. It's all Colusa County pride. That's all it is. Us fucking hometown boys made it home. Let's go, baby.
You heard it. You saw it.
A bunch of dogs!
Let's fucking go!
Heart and determination, boys. Let's go!
Hard work. Tunnel up.
Let's go!
Let's fucking go! Colusa County, they're headed to Sunday. You'll see them again. They got something to prove. Back to the announcers. Up in the booth.
Let's fucking go!
You, Tyler. You see the hometown crowd. You see Sanchez right there. That hometown pride, such to play for in this level of rugby. The 3 semifinals are done. It's going to be Austin and Colusa County in the finals. Final thoughts, Darian Lovelace, before we close out.
I mean, this was just turn after turn of events between the two sides here, but I've got to say, Colusa, they're right. They had that dog in them, the defensive launch, the attack that they were able to kind of find, and then they've just got a heart and soul within a couple of key players that we're going to keep talking about on Sunday because they got there. The Austin Blacks are going to be playing against Colusa on Sunday for the D3 championship. We'll be bringing it to you all weekend.
That is it for us for this game, but stay tuned. Next up is D2 Women. South Buffalo is Tampa Crew on this field. On the other field is going to be Whitehorse, Phoenixville, and Sacramento Amazons. Darren's going to bring Lance Kavanaugh in for that one, the Great American. I will be back at 3 o'clock Central for the Indian Palace versus Miami Tridents in men's D2. And then tomorrow is finals day. Stay with us. We'll be back with more rugby action. Congratulations, Colusa County.